designing projects in man years. What is a man year? A man year is the number of hours a person, a human, don't go trigger on that man suffix or qualifier. It's not a qualifier. I had the privilege of working with projects that used man year estimating. It's called a full-time equivalent in some circles. My project needs a certain amount of people for maintenance for the life of the facility. It needs different kinds of maintenance through the life of the facility. Part of my job is adding pieces onto what those estimates are that built the jobs for your neighbors' futures. So these numbers you come up with based upon experience, based upon other industries' work, on knowledge you brought with you because you've had some experience. You begin to create these types of contract structures so people understand what things are going to cost today and tomorrow. So man-year estimating, full-time equivalent. There is other acronyms, there's other words for that same function. But what it came down to was I had 40 pieces of equipment. I needed a plumber, an electrician, and a machinist. Let's use those three trades. Or skills. They might be in skilled trades and be union members, but they might not. But I need, for the next 30 years of this planned facility, to be able to run the facility. I've got to be able to repair it and maintain it. Just the building by itself is the infrastructure. The cooling towers on it, the electricity that feeds it. I'm going to invest tens of millions of dollars in a powerhouse. I've already set the leasing contracts out to get maybe hundreds of kilowatts, megawatts of energy off the power grid, and the construction of that power line started about a year ago. When I look back at the program, the project, the work effort, I can look in man years. And again, don't trigger on the word man here. It's more an engineering term. From the old days, when I hear it, I think of people. I need people. Because my goal is to justify the cost of those people. So that's man-year estimations. It gets into man-decades of engineering. If you go back and look at what the engineering you're working with is using, you run into very large, very professional institutions that bill by the minute. So that understanding of that huge facility down the street and what goes into it, it affects every piece of it. Those salaries over decades that are promised in the initial contracts, initial designs, the initial tax deductions given to the facility to open to begin with get lost and smeared in time. Those commitments get lost and smeared in time. So people years, maybe is a better term for it. Are they called jobs? Is this work? You can put this to any type of endeavor. Those little slices of time. I don't need a whole person for some of this. I need a half a person for a year, a specialist. Or I need a pool of money for specialists I might need to call in because things happen. The air conditioner design is old, and it turns out it can promote some viruses, some molds growing inside of it. Bad things we learn. Capital budget for $10,000 worth of material that's going to take a helicopter to put it up on the roof. We did helicopter lifts. We planned helicopter lifts. We planned a quarter of a plant not being able to access an area for days at a time while airlifts were going on. Man, human years. Effort to achieve a goal. Cost of the effort to achieve a goal. You can find out how many years, on average, our workforce works, what the average workday is. Then you factor in things like vacation. There's people out there that have 6 weeks of vacation. And everyone probably ought to have 6 weeks of vacation. In 2002, I believe, or 2012, every American was worth about $6 million. It was a GAO number. $6 million over a lifetime. You go find another number about how long a life is, and that's how much you're worth every year. You could define a basic income off of numbers and studies and information like that, and work your way through human years and help build a future, or not.